Greetings and welcome to the COMETSA Global Online Channels, the voice of COMETSA, the mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. Our platform or our channel is established on the concept of the idea. We inform and entertain, we develop and educate, we empower and support, we associate and network. That is the idea. My name is Tsima. I am the executive business coach. I have been in this field for more than 10 years. Before I decided to become the executive coach with the clear intention of partnering with professionals, executives, business owners, and entrepreneurs, I spent some many years in the corporate sector myself. First, as a commercial business administrator, then a corporate business consultant focusing on diversity management and inclusion, transformation and change, and human capital development. Lastly, as a HR director for one of the global organizations operating in the African continent. My focus in coaching is not just to facilitate development and growth of my clients, but also to educate, to contribute to the development of this young profession called coaching. When COMETSA was established, we were established as a sports development organization, football specifically, in the flatlands of the city of gold, Johannesburg. For those who became part of us in the earlier years, they may sometimes think when I talk about coaching, I talk about coaching from a sports point of view. In this particular instance, I'm talking about coaching in terms of professional development of individuals, organizations, and groups. Today, I want to focus on what we call COMETSA Growth Coaching Program. This is the program or the offering that is made of three broad categories. The first category is the executives growth coaching. Here we focus on the executive development intervention to assist and partner with executive management and leadership via coaching. They could find themselves in the public sector, private sector, or non-profit making sector. The next broad category is what we call professionals growth coaching. This is about the development intervention to grow managers of others. In other words, managers of other people, managers of teams and organizations through coaching. The third broad category is the entrepreneurs growth coaching. Here we focus on development intervention aimed at the incubators, entrepreneurs, startups, and SMMEs via coaching. So this COMETSA Growth Coaching Program is a component of our human capital portfolio of interventions in our business model. But let me first remind you that coaching is one of the fastest growing professions and practices in the human capital development sector across the globe. The consumption of coaching is in many cases based on the context in which our clients, the coachees, and client companies find themselves. Their experience with coaching is what determines their choice of us as their coaching partners in their development and growth journey. We decry the fact that coaching is not yet easily accessible to the general staff in employing organizations and to the public, they say. And yet it is one of the most empowering human capital development interventions, according to us. We, the coaches and clients, are partners in the client's interest when we embark on a coaching program or a coaching partnership or a coaching intervention. The coaching relationship is the relationship of equals, and it's based on common objectives that in many cases are co-determined by both the coach and the client. So here at COMETSA, we aim to contribute to the growth of this relationship with our clients and the profession itself. I thought that I will engage with you through what I will call the frequently asked coaching questions and answers. Because what I want to achieve in this segment is for you out there, the potential client or the stakeholder, to understand and have answers for some of these questions in coaching. So I'm going to start from the premise that you don't know much about coaching, except that you have heard about it, and you are interested in understanding what it is all about and what you go about to become part of it, either as a client or associate coach, or even somebody that wants to embark on the coaching education program to qualify yourself. So I've got 25 frequently asked questions that I've put together throughout my years of coaching, specifically asked in context of me engaging with them on behalf of COMETSA. The first question, which is a very common question that every coach will tell that it gets asked by people out there, is what is coaching? So I've put together here a definition that will make it easy for you to come closer to understanding what it is. Coaching is a development intervention in which the coach becomes the thinking partner of the client and facilitates the process of self-discovery, self-awareness, and individual capacity development to successfully deal with the growth and development challenges in personal and professional life. That is my definition, and I hope it gives you a thought to engage on. The second frequently asked question is, what is the difference between coaching and mentoring? In mentoring, The mentor is often someone who is an elder or more experienced than the mentee, and he or she is more telling than challenging the mentee to think out solutions for himself or herself. Whereas coaching, it's based on the relationship of equals and the coach becoming the partner of the client and challenging the client to work out solutions for himself or herself. The interest here is to make the client be able to help themselves, because we believe as coaches that the same problems that originate from the client or inside the client has answers lying inside the client themselves. And this is good news to clients to know that in reality you have it within yourself. And therefore yours is just to get the coach to help you to access those solutions and resolve those problems that you have within yourself. So it's about owning your problems and finding the solutions that are inside you. With the help of the coach, establish the way of addressing the problems. The third frequently asked question is, how long is each coaching session? So this is really dependent on the contract that you and the coach have. But for us here at COMETSA, a coaching session should have at least a minimum of 1 hour to the maximum of 2 hours. And as I said, then it will depend on the issues on hand. And when we contract with you, we will in many cases say, let's contract for 1 hour to 2 hours a session. And sometimes it will be a session for a month or once in a while session based on you and your demands and your needs. The fourth frequently asked question is it possible to buy multiple sessions and constitute a coaching program? The answer is absolutely so. That is the whole idea. Coaching is not an event, but a process. You are welcome to buy a once-off coaching session or buy many sessions and build a growth coaching program over a couple of months. This is absolutely dependent on you, the coachee or the client. Question number 5. How long on average is a growth coaching program? You are on a coaching program in general, not necessarily just this particular one that we offer at COMETSA. You are welcome to consult or to constitute a month session or program, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months program, or even more, depending on the challenges or growth opportunities lying ahead. However, it is very important for you to understand that the coaching relationship is not something that will go on in perpetuity. Somewhere we need to come to the end of the coaching program having resolved the issues that brought you to the coaching relationship. And if you happen to continue or to extend your coaching program, in many cases it will be on new issues, new challenges, and new goals that you want coaching to address. We are, as coaches, often asked, what is our coaching qualification? In this case, I cannot answer on behalf of all the coaches out there, but let me answer on my behalf. I am Tsima, the executive coach. I have a diploma in practitioner coaching from the Coaching Center, which is based in Cape Town. I'm a professional certified coach by the International Coach Federation, and I have already completed my first year of my studies towards Masters in Executive Coaching, which is offered by the Ashridge Executive Education, which is part of the Hull International Business School, based in this particular case outside London in UK. I am also a coach partner of Move One Coaching, digital coaching organization based in Paris, in France, and I participate in the global coaching program with them, wherein we coach a number of clients across the world using a digital coaching platform. I'm also glad to announce that I'm a partner, or COMETSA is the partner, licensed partner of Contribution Compass, which is a profiling platform that we use to determine the growth energies and the profiles of our clients before we can embark or engage on a coaching program with you. Lastly, I also would like to mention that I am assessor for the Get Smart programs. In particular case here is the UCT GSP Executive Leadership. And I will later move into playing a role as a tutor. These programs are very important for me, and they are very aligned with the coaching offering that we deliver here at COMETSA. So you can be assured that when you deal with us, you are dealing with the organization that is very much informed and knowledgeable about the challenges that you are faced with in your role as a businessman, businesswoman, an executive or professional or an entrepreneur. Now, the seventh frequently asked question is, what is the role of a coach in my development? Your coach is many things to you in your personal and professional development. He or she is your thinking partner, a confidant, a challenger, a motivator, a facilitator, and more so, your accountability partner. He or she helps you in formulating your coaching themes, goals, objectives, and coming up with supporting actions that you need to address in between your coaching sessions to ensure that you experience a shift from your current state of being to your future state of being. And by so doing, you grow in your profession. Frequently asked question number 8. How many times a month must I attend coaching sessions? I normally request my clients to attend one coaching session of 2 hours maximum a month. But as mentioned, it could be 1 hour. So I make a provision for 1 hour to 2 hour sessions. I believe that the real coaching happens in between the coaching sessions, when the client applies the knowledge from the coaching session, observes the environment, implement the actions, and experience the impact as a result. Frequently asked question number 9. How will I book my monthly coaching sessions? So, once you have bought your session, our office will contact you and coordinate the coaching sessions with you. We also have a public email address you can use to book your sessions, and it is callcenter@cometsa.co.za. COMETSA-GoC.com. Call center is spelled CALLCENTRA, and it is at COMETSA-GoC.com. And that is the public email address to which you can send inquiries, requests, and book your sessions. Question number 10. Do I have to pay for my coaching sessions separately every time I need to attend a session? Yes, unless you can afford to pay for all your sessions of your coaching program at the same time, which will be obviously beneficial to us. But we are mindful of the fact that coaching is not cheap and money is not always readily available. So we make it easy for you to pay for each session immediately after it has taken place or just before it takes place. So, however, what is important for you to note is that no subsequent session will take place unless the previous session has been paid for. And this is a standard practice in the coaching sector, by the way. The next question, which is question number 11. What do I receive from you after each coaching session? Wow, a brilliant question indeed that I love receiving every now and then. We are not an academic training organization, and we don't regard coaching session as a training, but an intervention that impart knowledge, impart expertise and skills and competency for you to go and perform your duties. And therefore, we can't say we are giving you a certificate, but certainly every coaching session is followed by a coaching session report. But here at COMETSA, we are glad to announce that because we have gone truly digital, with the permission of a client, all our coaching sessions can be recorded to produce an audio or video that will then be given to you in the form of a link so that it becomes a collector's item for you or a reference point to go back and remind yourself of the deliberations that you will have had with me as your coach or our associate coaches that will have been partnered with you. So that almost is like a precursor to the next question, which is question number 12, and that is, do I have to attend the coaching sessions face-to-face? The answer is no. We are offering both face-to-face sessions or virtual coaching sessions using the COMETSA Global Online Channels, which is an integration of a number of platforms into one, and those are Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, StreamYard, or even Skype. Or in many cases, telephonic coaching. But what we guarantee you is that we will make sure that we will use a number of our apps to record these coaching sessions with your permission. And this is purely for the purposes of making sure that you can go back and revisit the conversations that you will have had with us. And let me also, all our recorded material, videos and audios are kept and stored on the cloud, and therefore are very safe and cannot be accessed by anybody who is not entitled to do so. And at any point in time, you can contact us. We will give you a link to your own video or your own audio. And it's a wonderful experience, believe you me, to always reflect on the conversation you will have had with us and benchmark in terms of where you are in terms of progress of your growth, development, and insights. The next question again follows on this question 12, and this is question number 13. What do I do with the coaching report or the coaching audio or video? Well, you are expected to study it immediately when you receive it to support your reflection activity, but also it serves as a reflection of the conversations from the coaching session, because growth in coaching happens when you embark on reflection activity. If you don't do that, you might not be able to transition from one stage to another in your professional growth. But it is also your responsibility and a reminder for you to act or to perform the tasks that we shall have agreed on during our coaching session. Hence, we encourage you to again read it, study it, watch it before the next coaching session for the review purposes. Now, our coaching sessions are building on top of each other, and therefore it's absolutely necessary that before you come into the next coaching session, you will reflect on the previous session and you remember what were the issues, and also to sort of like check into the next session with those reflections so that we can really establish as to whether we are growing or not. The frequently asked question number 14. How do we kick off a long-term growth coaching program of, say, for argument's sake, 12 months? You will receive coaching intake form for you to complete before the first session. So the first session is regarded as a kickoff session, and in many cases, it follows what we call a chemistry session, which in most cases is a free of charge session we offer you as a new client into our coaching program. And it's during the chemistry session that the coach and the client get to know each other better. So don't take it for granted that it can be skipped. It can be skipped. We highly advise that before you embark on coaching session number 1, that you schedule a chemistry session for you and your coach to get to know each other, to think about this coaching program, to be inducted into what coaching is and what coaching is not, and also to determine whether the coach that we have assigned you is really a coach that you will want to partner with. Because we are different as coaches, and you as clients are also different, and you have a preferred style perhaps in terms of how you will want to be addressed, you would like to be taken along onto the coaching program. It is during this chemistry session that the coaching themes, goals, and objectives could be formulated, or we could talk about them to be concluded in the next coaching sessions, because that is already the formal part of your coaching program. The frequently asked question number 15. How will I know if coaching is working for me? Wow, I love this one. This is also a question for myself. How will I know if this coaching that I'm delivering to you is indeed working for you? And yet this, I believe, is a very subjective question. However, if we start with the determination of what we call SMART coaching goals, SMART being an acronym for a specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals. We must agree on the performance indicators. upfront, therefore. How will we measure their achievement and have discipline to review our coaching session that we will receive as a feedback? So we use the SMART coaching goals to always answer this question as to whether we are being successful. And that is a very important component, as I say, of the feedback process. Frequently asked question number 16. How do I prepare for the coaching session? Yeah, we love it when our clients come to our coaching session and they are prepared, they are fully present, they are emotionally wanting to engage, and they are looking forward to the session. But I believe that it shouldn't be a huge exercise to think about. You do not need to think and worry much about it other than just being prepared to be fully present in the session. In fact, it is encouraged not to over-prepare for the coaching session in the form of an agenda, because we as coaches come to a session without agenda. And that's why when you come into the session, we'll check in and ask you your state of being and the issues on the table, as long as they are aligned with your coaching theme and the coaching goals. So therefore, yours is to bring yourself to the session fully present and trust the process and engage with the process that will be facilitated for you by our coaches. Frequently asked question number 17. Why are coaching goals so important? This is a very critical and important question. Apologies. Excuse me. Coaching does not happen in a vacuum. We never coach without coaching goals for the entire coaching program and individual coaching sessions. We start each coaching program and coaching session with the coaching objectives, and that is standard. The objective, however, could be, look, I've been having a very difficult week. I just want to come and have a conversation with you, a light conversation about anything that is important in my life. That will be the objective. To engage with you, to reflect, to energize you a little bit, to inspire you, to accompany you on your reflection activity, and to imagine the future, or even to interrogate what the future holds for us in a light-hearted way. So there shall be an objective for every coaching session, therefore. That is the message I'm communicating here. The frequently asked question number 18. Explain how you coaches facilitate the setting of the coaching goals. Well, during the first coaching session, which also sometimes could serve as a kickoff or a chemistry session if you didn't have the first chemistry session, the coach and the client, which the coachee, discuss the coaching goals. And after the session, I as the coach will send you the client the coaching goals template, which I call it the coaching goals input sheet, which is probably to guide you to reflect on the coaching discussions that we shall have had, which in many cases will also be reflected on the first coaching report I will give you, or it will have been captured in the coaching audio and video that we will have produced during our coaching session. So that is how we go about it. It could be a topic of the next 2-3 sessions, Because if the coaching goals are not clear, it's not worth it to proceed further into the coaching program, because we will come back to these coaching goals at the end of the coaching program and interrogate ourselves as to whether we have achieved what we intended to achieve. And that is what you pay for as a coaching client, because you want growth, you want progress. And in many cases, if you are sponsored by your own company, they will want to know without wanting to get the nitty-gritties of our conversations, whether our coaching program is achieving anything. And I always say to them that yours is just to be observant and be attentive to this person's behavior at work. Because if coaching is working, you will experience a shift in the way he or she behaves or conduct themselves in engaging with you on a day-to-day basis as an employee of yours. So the results will be evident if you are engaged with the program as a sponsor as well. The other famous question that coaches get asked, and I love being asked this question because I always have an answer for it, and the question is, do you have your own coaching model? Now, we come from different school of thoughts and different schools in reality, different colleges, academies, universities, and institutes. Some institutes believe in their clients, their students, developing their own coaching models. Some institutes don't believe in that. They believe that the models don't matter. The main thing is you connect with a client, you hold coaching conversations, and that way you are able to help the client move from one point to another. Well, that on its own is a model. And but the reality is that our models, if we have, needs to be plugged in a framework of some sort. So there are certain standard frameworks, and I believe the framework is a perspective that the client brings to the coaching session, the process that the coach put the client through, and the purpose for which a coaching program is there. If you have that framework and your model addresses that framework, then your model will be able to deliver the results. At the end of the day, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody except that your client must be assisted by a model that fits in a particular framework and therefore delivers the results and justifies the investment that the client make in engaging you as a coach. In other words, there must be a return on investment. That is the whole idea of being in the business of coaching. So, yes, I do have a coaching model, and I call it the mind, the journey, the destiny, which happens to be the philosophy and the slogan of COMETSA organization. And in full, it stands for we apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. So you can tell that it is a very transformational model or philosophy or concept. And as I say, it is also a philosophy of our organization, and therefore, as stated, it is actually equivalent to the framework I've just shared with you, whereby the mind is equivalent to the perspective, and the journey is equivalent to the process. And lastly, the destiny is equivalent to the purpose. And I use it throughout the COMETSA Growth Coaching Program. And you will experience it if you happen to become our client. The frequently asked question number 20. What is the baseline of your coaching? So, as stated, the baseline of my coaching is the mind pillar of my coaching model, as stated, which is equivalent to the coaching perspective. And therefore, as a client, you come into our coaching program which we call COMETSA Growth Coaching Program, as you are. You are not broken, you are not sick, you are not incomplete. You are who you are, and therefore I meet you there where you are. And I'm going to engage your mind for you to unpack and reflect on your perspective and share with me the journey you traveled from when you actually became aware of yourself to where you are now. And that is the perspective on which then I build my coaching process with you on to achieve the purpose that we will formulate in the form of the coaching goals and objectives. Frequently asked question number 21. How do you regulate your coaching relationship with the client? Wow, what a beautiful question. Because coaching indeed is about relationship. Before you can even worry about the coaching program, the process, you must be concerned about building the relationship with your client. So before we can start with coaching, especially the long-term growth coaching program, we negotiate and sign off a coaching contract. That is the foundation of the coaching relationship. So the master coaching contract is for the companies wanting to sponsor repeat sessions. We will make them sign this master coaching program. So for a certain time period, and during that time period, the employees, their staff can be registered into the coaching program, can be signed off for as long as the master coaching program is in place. We are in a relationship with the company. Otherwise, if there's no master coaching program, then it becomes per demand, and therefore we will sign either a 2-party or a 3-party coaching contract, as and when demand dictates. However, this is also an additional contract on top of the master coaching program, especially if the client, being the coachee, is referred to us by a sponsor, being the line manager, or a coordinator, being the HR department, and the company is party to the relationship. And there we talk about the 3-party relationship, which is the sponsor being the company, the client being the coachee, and me, the coach, forming that triangle. The 3-party relation coaching contract will then regulate the 3 legs. There is a leg which is between the coach and the coachee. There is a leg which is between the coach and the company. And there's a leg which is between the company and the coachee. And this 3-party contract regulates that each of the 3 parties knows exactly what the deliverables are in the coaching contract. In a 2-party contract, 2-party relationship, that's where a coachee himself or herself decided that they want their own coach. They want a coach and they just want to address particular issues, and it's none of the business of the company. And in many cases, they pay for themselves, and sometimes the company just pay for it as a development support. Then it becomes a relationship regulated by 2-party contract between me, the client, and me, the coach, between me, the coach, and you, the client. And it's very straightforward. It's about delivering the coaching program. Very important question, and that must always be asked, because everybody must know how the relationship is structured. Frequently asked question number 22. How do you start a coaching? Sorry, number 23. Yes, it's number 22, my apologies. How do you start a coaching session? In other words, there is a coaching contract, there is a relationship established, you come into the session, and we start the program. Day 1, how do you start? Well, every coach will tell you about a thing called checking in. Even if they don't tell you, they will make you experience it. Let me be particular about this one. This is one part of my coaching session that I never want to miss, because it is the point of contact with the client at the coaching session. So therefore, I will start each coaching session with a checking in for about 5 to 15 minutes. I normally don't rush it, because sometimes the checking in itself is the beginning of the coaching conversation. So why do you rush it? No need. So this is to ensure that we are both fully present and ready for the coaching session. And I normally check in with questions or inviting you to reflect and feel yourself through what I call body, mind, and spirit checking in. I want to know how you're doing physically. Have you rested enough? Have you been eating enough? Have you been exercising enough? Are you fit and ready to face the world? I also want to know, in terms of the mind, what kind of thoughts are preoccupying your mind and therefore could actually end up absorbing your attention. Maybe there are some thoughts that you want to share with me and you want my views on them, or you just want me to know. Very important. That is connecting your mind with your body and then ultimately spirit. How are you doing spiritually? And this has nothing to do with religion. Just to say that are you well? Are you feeling yourself? Are you in command of the spaces? Are you self-aware? Are you receiving the stimuli from the environment and responding accordingly? Because what you get from the environment is what you give. So the body, mind, and spirit equation is very important. And if I pick up that there is imbalance there, that becomes a conversation on its own. Why are you not feeling so much in control, in balance? Let's talk about it. What causes that? We work with you before you can work with anything else, everybody else around you. And if you are a leader, that is very important. Self-conscious leadership, self-aware. Are you aware of the state of being you are in before you can go and engage with others? Because the energy that you carry to the other people that report to you or work together with you determine the quality of the relationship and engagement you are going to have with them. And let's deal with that. And then we will go from there into the coaching conversation. If you don't want to check with the body, mind, and spirit, we can check in with a story. Just tell me a story. What has been happening since the last session, or since we have our contracting session or chemistry session? Or is there anything out in the world that is wonderful that you want to share with me? Or is there anything that is happening out there that is disturbing you that you want to share with me? I will always question, ultimately throughout the session or the end of the session, if we are addressing the broader coaching program objectives. That is always very important, because as your coach, I have a responsibility to hold you accountable. I'm your accountability partner. And that is in the context of the coaching contract that we have signed and the coaching relationship we have agreed to build and the deliverables that we have agreed that we are going to deliver. The other beautiful question is, how do we end the session? This is also very important. We don't just walk away from the session. So similarly to checking in, we end each coaching session with a checking out of about 5 to 15 minutes once again. And that serves as a reflection and evaluation of the session. We look at confirmations, where I would like to ask, what do you think was confirmed by the conversations that we have had? Something that you have always been aware of, that the coaching session has actually magnified it and actually confirmed it for you. The second one I like very much is the aha moment. These are light bulb moments. Obviously, the conversations bring out issues and highlight certain things. And then you get to a point where you experience the light bulb moment, which we call an aha moment. And then you say, oh, I see. Now it makes sense. I understand. I get you. Thank you. Which were those? And it's nice to reflect because it magnifies the learning that took place at that moment when you had a light bulb moment. The other checking out point is the take home. And I like saying, if this was a nice meal at a restaurant, this conversation of ours was a nice meal at a restaurant, and you can't afford not to take something out of it home with you to share with the loved one. What is that particular thing? In other words, we force you to want to become a multiplier. In other ways, what you have learned here, you're going to share with other people so that they can really experience what you are experiencing and learn from what you are learning from us as well. This is very, very important. This is fundamental in our views, and you need to keep that in mind, that you are embodiment of many other things around you that affect other people. We also want to bring the learning into perspective here when we ask you, share with us as a checkout, what are the new insights, what are new lessons that you picked up from the session. And lastly, we want you to commit. What are the new behaviors or new practices that you want to institute from now onward as a result of this coaching session? Or what are the behaviors and practices that you want to stop doing as a result of enlightenment that comes from the coaching session? And I must tell you, this is the best part for me of my coaching session. And if you do good checkout and reflections of the session, sometimes the coaching report just becomes a formality, because there and there you have almost assessed whether you are making progress or not. So that is how we end the coaching session. The frequently asked question number 24 is, how do you conduct the coaching session conversation? The conversation itself post the checking in. Here I will want to say that there is no universally acceptable standard of conducting coaching sessions conversation. Each coach has their own style. And by the way, the clients themselves are the party to this conversation. And once you have built a rapport and a relationship, sometimes the client, the coachee themselves, actually set the tone of the conversations, because it is the agenda. And that's one beautiful thing about coaching, is that the coaching conversations are based on the agenda that the client put forward. Sometimes implied or sometimes explicitly so. So the coach's job is to hold the space and to create an environment for the client to engage in a conversation and sometimes lead the conversation, and the coach just move it around and hold the mirror and let the client use that mirror as a reflection. What is common is that a well-trained coach will be guided by his or her coaching framework. You keep your framework in the mind, or the model in the back of your mind, and make sure that when you reach a point where there is stuckness, you can unstuck the situation by asking a penetrating question and let the client come out. And as I stated earlier, or I might have not stated it, is that the coach's job is to facilitate and is to create a safe space in which the client can be vulnerable. And this is doable because part of contracting is confidentiality. What we enter into conversation about during the coaching conversation remains between the coach and the coachee. It's confidential. And that is one of the key competencies that a coach must have, and is one of the ethical code of practices that we must enforce. And therefore, the coachee knows that they can afford to be vulnerable and they can bring anything into the space that is created and held by the coaching program, coaching framework. We use analogies, we use questioning, framing, examples, experiences to enrich the coaching conversation. It's a powerful, powerful thing. Anyone who has never experienced coaching can never even come close to knowing what it is. Until such time that you are in a coaching program, you will not realize how powerful the coaching environment and coaching conversation is. And I will always encourage anyone to experience it with a well-trained, experienced, qualified, accredited, credentialed coach to really make you to experience this power that in many cases is lie inside you, the coachee, and you access that power through a facilitation of a very good coach. Lastly, frequently asked question number 25. How do you end the coaching relationship? Wow. Let me be honest. It is a bittersweet stage to arrive at, to end a coaching relationship. In other words, to end a coaching program. I'm not talking about ending the coaching relationship in the middle of the coaching program because of certain things beyond your control or because of things not working. That is a happening event that we don't look forward to and we don't wish it for anybody, but they do happen, and therefore sometimes you are made to end a coaching relationship prematurely, and even there you are expected to end it in a professional manner as a coach. Unfortunately, sometimes coaches and clients don't realize how important that is, and sometimes they just go AWOL, which is never a good thing. But every coach will tell you every now and then such events do happen. However, this one is a formal ending of a coaching program or a coaching relationship. We call it a coaching endings. And I always encourage every client to experience it. And I always encourage every coach to give it and offer it to a coaching client. So the same as we must be professional in starting the coaching relationship, so must we in ending it. The end of coaching does not mean that the coach and the client are not going to be in contact any longer. The last sessions is referred to as stated endings, coaching, and we evaluate the entire coaching program and follow it up with a coaching conclusion report or a coaching conclusion video and audio, which becomes a collector's item for the client and the coach. Thank you so much. This was really lovely. I enjoyed sharing these insights with you. It is always my pleasure to take you along and share with you some of these insights so that when you come into coaching program, you know what to expect. That was the COMETSA Growth Coaching Program brought to you by COMETSA Global Online Channels, delivered by me, Tsima, your executive business coach. The mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. We are built on the concept called the idea. We inform and entertain. We develop and educate. We empower and support. We associate and network. That is the idea. You're welcome to be in touch with us at call center at comesa-goc.com. We encourage you to follow COMETSA Coaching Podcast. Go to www.cometacoachingpodcast.com. Subscribe, follow us there so that when we publish new episodes, you will be able to be notified. Don't miss any of our episodes. They are very educational, very empowering, and very entertaining indeed. Thank you. We look forward to welcome you at our next episode. And we look forward also to welcome you as our potential coaching client. We would love to partner with you on your journey. Take care, be safe, goodbye.